In this video, we want to construct angles of 60 degrees, angle of 30 degrees, 90 degrees, and then 45 degrees using a ruler and a pair of compasses. So we shall start by constructing an angle of 60 degrees. Now, with A as my center and a suitable radius, I'm going to draw an arc which cuts this line and goes this way, like this, without altering my radius or changing my radius. With the point of intersection of the arc and this line as my center, I'm going to draw an arc which cuts the previous one here. Okay, now using my ruler, starting from A, and like this, I'm going to draw a line from A right through the point of intersection, of the arcs. So it's now an angle of 60 degrees. Now I want to construct an angle of 30 degrees. So first of all, I will start by constructing an angle of 60 degrees, let's say at B, and then bisect it. So now with B as my center, as I showed you in the previous construction, draw an arc which cuts this line, and with this point of intersection of the arc and this line as my center, I'll draw an arc which cuts the previous arc here, and then from B right through the point of intersection of the two arcs, I'll draw a line. Okay, so now it's an angle of 60 degrees. So for me to come up with an angle of 30 degrees, I'm going to bisect this angle of 60 degrees at B. What is to bisect? It is to cut this angle of 60 degrees into two equal parts. So I'll open a suitable radius with B as my center and draw an arc which cuts this line here and which cuts also this other line here. Okay, so these are my two arcs. So with the points of intersection of this line and this arc as my center, here I may also increase the radius of my compass so that my arcs will not be clumsy. Okay, I'll draw an arc, and then without changing the radius, I'll choose this point also where the arc meets the line here as my center and cut the previous arc like this. Okay, now from B right through the point of intersection of the arcs, I'll draw a straight line, resulting in the formation or construction rather of a 30 degrees angle. So this one is 30 and this one is 30. So now I've bisected an angle of 60 degrees for me to construct an angle of 30 degrees. So let's go on and then construct an angle of 90 degrees and then finally an angle of 45 degrees. Okay, before we move on, let's come here. So you can see this is a straight line and this angle is 60 degrees. So it means this angle on the left side is 120 degrees. Remember, a straight angle equals to 180 degrees. So I'll take 60 degrees from 180 and this one is 120 degrees. Okay, so let's go on and construct an angle of 9 degrees and then an angle of 45 degrees. So let's say I want to construct an angle of 90 degrees at A. So with A as my center, then I open a suitable radius and draw an arc which cuts this line here without changing the radius, and without changing the center. I'll cut this line on the right hand side of A. Okay, of my arcs are visible. And then the point of intersection of the line and the arc is my center. Here I can increase the radius of my compass so that the arcs which I want to draw can meet. Okay, so I'll draw an arc here without changing the radius. Choose this other point also as the center. As you can see, I'm holding one limb of my pair of compasses when I'm inserting it into the center so that I won't change the radius. Okay, so now I'll draw an arc to meet the previous one here. Now from A right through the point of intersection of the arcs up there, I'll draw a straight line like this. So now I've constructed an angle of 90 degrees. Now I want to construct an angle of 45 degrees. So first of all, I'll have to construct an angle of 90 degrees, say at C. So with C as my center, and then a suitable radius. I'll first of all construct an angle of 90 degrees using the method which I showed you. Okay, now this is now the center. Now I can change the radius of my compass so that my arcs can meet. This one also is my center. So now I'm drawing an angle of 90 degrees first of all. Okay, right from C right through the point of intersection of the arcs. So now here I've constructed an angle of 90 degrees and here is 90. So for me to construct an angle of 45 degrees, I'll choose C as my center again and open a suitable radius, and I cut this line here and cut this line also here with my arc. Okay, so these 2 points, this one here, okay, let me use this marker, this one and this one is my new centers. Here I can also even change the radius of my canvas. I'll draw one arc here, and this one is my center now. Draw another arc here. Right, so from C right through the point of intersection of the arcs. Okay, let's write something like this. Yeah. Now I'll draw a straight line through the point of intersection of the arcs. So now it's an angle of 45 degrees. So if this is an angle of 45 degrees, remember this is a straight line, so it is a straight angle of 180 degrees here. So it means this other angle here is 135 degrees, because I simply say 180 minus this 45 degrees, and then I will remain with 135 degrees. Okay, so thank you for watching. Meet you in the next videos.